Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a critical election update video. We have new numbers here about a week and a half into August. The July voter registration numbers, obviously this year, a lot more impactful than previous years, considering we are very close to an election. A lot of people getting registered, Republicans gaining, the Democrats actually losing 19,000. Now, when it comes to these changes, I do want to say voter registration certainly can be misleading. You can be losing voter registration by, let's say 5 or 6 points and still win a state relatively easily. But this is good news for Republicans, no doubt about it. Even with most of this coming from California, Republicans gaining almost 100K in the state of California. That's voters registering as Republicans, Democrats losing 43K. Obviously, that's not ideal. If you are Republicans, we really don't care about California. Will it help Trump with the popular vote? Maybe slightly, but what is he going to lose by 22, not 25? That's really not what we're looking at. Florida, though, continues to trend. I saw a recent tweet by DeSantis. It's just crazy. Over 1 million now in favor of Republicans in the state of Florida when it comes to voter registration. Like 6 years ago, the Democrats had a big edge. Everyone thought Hillary was going to win in 2016. It seemed like, Florida was possibly going to become a lean Democrat state. Very close in 2016, going into 2020. Also, another supposed swing state. Trump wins it, and then just all the DeSantis stuff. And, I know a lot of MAGA people really don't like DeSantis a ton because of that vicious primary and everything. But, DeSantis did make Florida a Republican state. There's no doubt about it. And you can see Republicans, again, this is probably like 20 straight months. They have a voter registration advantage, gaining more voters than Democrats. Taking a look at some of the other states that are important, you're going to want to look at, a state like Nevada. Obviously, not much going on there, not much different. New Jersey, Republicans gaining 7K, Democrats only at 1K. Taking a look at North Carolina, that's a big state. I know people got a little bit angry yesterday with the poll out of North Carolina that said it was tied. We've seen a lot of polls out of North Carolina, the previous election cycles that had Hillary up, Biden up. Recently, though, I think these numbers are very good for Trump in terms of him winning it. Another thing I will mention, Trump's approval rating going into this election is infinitely better than in 2020 or 2016. So if he won North Carolina in 2020 and 2016, approval rating's not everything, but with it being significantly better, going up against someone that really isn't a world beater, didn't win their own primary, has basically been handed everything, got handed the VP spot after she got destroyed in the primaries, maybe because of the riots and the DEI quotas. You would think North Carolina would relatively easily go to Trump. Other important states, Pennsylvania, obviously the big one here, plus 21K for Republicans. That is big news because Pennsylvania is a state that could be decided by 10,000 votes, 20,000 votes, very close to gain 21K versus around 6K. The Democrats are gaining. We are getting closer to the election, people registering, but obviously that is a very positive sign for Republicans. There's no doubt about it. So those were just bigger states when it comes to the voter registration. Arizona as well. Arizona, I do feel relatively confident that Trump should win Arizona, although it might be very close. If it is really close, I'm not too sure Carrie Lake is going to win. If Trump wins by 4 or 5, I think she's got a decent shot at eking one out there in the Senate. But in terms of just the general election, Arizona is huge for Trump. Nevada is big. Showing up those states, it gives you more options. The other one I would look at would be Georgia. Is Georgia not even updated on here? I don't see Georgia anywhere. So it doesn't look like they have Georgia, I don't think. But so those are the important states. It looks really good for Republicans. Basically, all the swing states, they're gaining more than Democrats. And certainly it doesn't mean that, Republicans are going to win all these states, because voter registration, it doesn't have the direct impact. In some of these states, Democrats overall have the lead in voter registration, but people might still vote for Trump, depending. You can see all others, a lot of people joining in, but not Democrats or Republicans, just listed as something else, over 190K. But overall, again, a lot of these coming from California. We'd like those to be more in the swing states than California, because Trump is going to lose California. There is no doubt about it. We've also got this disturbing update from the European Union, what's going on in the UK right now. It seems like the United States and Europe, we're kind of going our separate ways with just, honestly, our values. So you've got the EU, the European Commission, like threatening Elon Musk not to have the interview tonight with Donald Trump. I don't understand who they think they are. They're going to censor the interview in Europe that Elon Musk is going to have with Donald Trump because they're afraid it might be too big. I mean, what's gone on in the United Kingdom and now this, it's very, we're on edge almost to the point where it's like, you know what, we're done with NATO. Have fun getting taken over by Russia. I'm just kidding on that. But seriously, like this stuff is just it's ridiculous what's going on in Europe. And you can see the big things that they say. They talk about the live stream, which unaddressed might increase the risk profile of X and generate detrimental effects on civil discourse and public security. This is important against the background of recent examples of political unrest. And we know, of course, they will send you to jail if you use an emoji that they deem wrong in the United Kingdom. And they put out this big thing, and Musk just completely... these X people are just going after the UK, and Musk basically embarrassed them completely. I mean, look at the ratio on, oh no, this is not the one with the ratio. There's one with this is the ratio because this is their official public statement, 27K. And you can see the only reason I liked it was to bookmark it. Not that it matters, but the repost, that's also including quotes. So these people are so unliked. The fact that they keep doing this and trying to censor stuff, it really is appalling. And you have to wonder, with what's gone on in the UK, the battles that they've had, the citizens against all of the migrants coming into that country, how long until something like that happens in the United States? I know it's a different dynamic with the U.S., and the way we have our laws and the freedoms and people being able to defend themselves a little bit better than in Europe, but it still is a problem. And this isn't just the UK with this letter here or whatever. This is the overall European Union. Who do they think they are? Threatening Elon Musk, saying you're going to amplify Trump. Trump is running for president of the United States. What in the hell are you talking about? Yes, Trump's going to be amplified. He won the nomination, by the way, a lot fairer than the other candidate did. He was going against DeSantis, Nikki Haley. They were being funded. DeSantis got $150 million from donors. He drops out. Nikki Haley gets all the money. Trump, because he's got such a big base, wins via democracy, wins all the primaries, and they're all forced to drop out within the span of 2 weeks. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, gets handed the job because Biden sucked in a debate. But no, Trump's the bad one that's going to end democracy, and we have to silence him. And you've got Europe now telling Elon Musk to silence Trump, when this is why Elon Musk bought X, or Twitter at the time, in the first place, was to give someone like Trump, who they took the platform away from him, give him his voice and other people their voices back on the internet, because they said, no, Donald Trump with the horrible January 6th thing. Remember how they made January 6th as bad as possible, and they're still talking about January 6th, even with all of the democracy that they've had, or I guess haven't had, in the primary system. And then it's like, my God, January 6th, if you're the kings and queens of democracy, why would you blackmail the sitting president who won fair and square the primary process and install someone that won absolutely nothing because you thought you were going to lose? And now Biden comes out and admits, yeah, they basically blackmailed me and stole it from me. And even Nancy Pelosi has said, yeah, we pressured him. So it's all admitted. But they're going to tell us that they love democracy. They're going to save democracy by not even practicing it themselves. That's 3 straight primaries they rigged: in 2016 with Hillary over Bernie, in 2020 with all of them dropping out to support Biden, and then in 2024. And how about on top of it, they love democracy? Well, then why did they silence a story from the American people in 2020? The only October surprise we had was the Hunter Biden laptop, and it was silenced and deemed disinformation. Not because it was actually disinformation, it's because they didn't like that it was out there, and they just called it disinformation as a shield and misinformation. And that's why those words became so big in 2020. And then that leaked over into the whole pandemic and the vaccine and everything that they didn't agree with. The establishment, they deemed it misinformation. Even when it was coming from credible doctors on X, the doctors would be censored and their accounts would be removed. It's so evil. And so this is the machine, and here it is. And it's out there. I mean, these people, they are completely deranged. Elon Musk spends $40 billion buying this platform for this exact reason, for this type of bullshit censorship that an entire union does, to where you can't really blame anyone because it's the entire vessel. And that's how they were trying to do it on X. That's why they got someone in the new CEO was like, you couldn't pronounce his name. It's because they want you to not be able to blame anyone. You can't blame anyone because they're all like a vessel. You just have to blame the company, and then no one gets blamed because it's divided. So this is really what's happening, and this is very sad. And so obviously Elon Musk has just completely laughed in their faces, and certainly, I mean, it's a great opportunity to. It's ridiculous that they would even say this, try and censor and say. I wonder if they will censor it in Europe. You know, maybe they'll take. Remember what Venezuela did? I don't even think you can get X in Venezuela. But I mean, that is socialism, right? You know, obviously Elon Musk says something bad about you, just silence him. I mean, that's the left wing strategy. That's the same. No, that makes sense. It's the same strategy they deployed in the United States when they had control of X, and they would just silence people. And just Venezuela is just following suit. And now you've got the UK, and what they're doing, they're sending people to jail for emojis. They're left wing as well. It's all the left. They don't want you to have freedom of speech. If you say the wrong thing online, they will send you to jail. And that's why they have a huge problem with Elon Musk. Elon Musk made Twitter free. So certainly there's going to be not great things said on Twitter, but that's just the reality and the sacrifice of having freedom of speech. These people do not want freedom of speech. They want speech that they agree with. The speech that they don't agree with, they call it racist, they call it whatever, and it needs to be removed. Okay, it's like a third grader. I mean, my God, can you not? You have to understand that people are not always going to agree with you, and if they don't agree with you, you can't remove them. Well, I guess, you know, in 2019, you could just call it misinformation, and then they'll be removed and then say, oh, it's a private company. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.